Okay, freedom. I'm sure by now everyone's a little bit tired of hearing me say freedom, but this is all about becoming the dominant energy in your own life. So, reclaiming your aliveness, your emotional freedom, unapologetic expression, and live a life that sets your fucking soul on fire. Um, that's what the last year has been an anthem for me, is just living a life that sets my soul on fire. And it honestly, because of the year that I had last year, and I owe a lot of it to losing my dad. So I made it my mission to not live because he died way too young. So it was like, I'm gonna live a life that sets my soul on fire because he didn't get to. So that's where that came from. As far as the agenda, I'm not gonna keep you guys here all night. Um, we'll try to move through it kind of quick, but we'll give space where it needs to be. Um, Attunement, a little bit of a backstory, and then my three pillars are self-abandonment, self-awareness, and then seeking approval to self-leadership, performance to authentic expression. It's when I get fun, and then we'll integrate and talk about next steps after that. So attunement, and I feel like we hear this word a lot, but like I preach it, I live this on the daily. It's just getting your mind quiet enough to be present in the moment. So the practice of listening deeply enough to yourself so that you can recognize what's true before the outside world tells you what to believe. So trying to get rid of, or at least not listen to, our conditioned mindset. So with that, I would like, since we're all here and present now, if we can all just kind of take a moment just to kind of ground into the space. So just kind of sit back into your chair. If you feel comfortable to, just close your eyes maybe. Just place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Just kind of take a moment to relax into your seat. Maybe take a big deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Just relax a little bit more. Relax your shoulders, relax your jaw. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you're sitting here, just be aware of the seat or the bed or the couch, whatever you're sitting on, and how held you are by that. Just feel your back, feel your bottom on the seat, and feel how grounded you feel and in your space. Just bring awareness to the space that you're in. Take one more good deep breath here, in through the nose. And if you feel like it, audible exhale out, release some energy, maybe shake it out. And if you haven't already, put your phones on do not disturb, or at least away from you, just so you can be fully here with everybody. And I do appreciate everybody having their screens on. I didn't have to say anything, which is huge. There's something really magical when we're all able to feel each other's energy. So I do appreciate that. Okay, why you are here? What made you choose to be here today? You are a woman ready to reclaim your aliveness, your emotional freedom, authentic expression, and self-trust. It's time to stop shrinking, stop adapting, abandoning yourself for the comfort of others. You deserve to feel safe enough to take up space. You deserve to speak your truth and honor your intuition and fully embody who the fuck you are. You deserve to move through life grounded, expressed, empowered, and alive, and become the dominant energy in your own life. If this is your first masterclass, can you throw it in the chat or just raise your hand? I love it. Yay, thank you for being here.
Mhm.
All right, a little bit about me. I'm Dakota, a somatic and embodiment coach, a freedom coach, a trauma-aware nervous system facilitator, which is a fancy term saying I've been through some shit. So I went through stuff so that I can take others through stuff. And that's how I viewed, even as I was going through my shit last year, I knew there was a reason. I just didn't know what it was. And that's how I created the Align method. And then the other method that I'm announcing at the end of this call that's how those came to life, is because I went through my own shit. I went through my own method without even knowing that's what was going on. Found out that my dad had cancer the day after Christmas, but 2 weeks after, I had been with my boss back home. I was out traveling for work, but my boss back home asked me to come back to work in Cookeville, Tennessee, which is where my mom was living. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna stack some cash. I'm gonna visit my family, and then I'm off to Florida. That was my whole goal. And then 2 weeks later is when we found out dad had cancer. So I was like, I'm actually being called home for more. It wasn't to go help out because they were short staffed. It was because I needed to be home for my family. And shortly after that, I hired a mentor because while I was married, I forgot who I was. And I realized that actually a month after I got married. So that kind of was an eye opener, but I continued everything that we're going to talk about: the people pleasing, the self-abandonment, the conforming to what others think you're supposed to be, all of the things. I went through every bit of that and forgot who I was, which is why I hired the mentor. And that's when I figured out, okay, I want to be a coach, but I don't want to do bodybuilding. I used to coach bodybuilding because that's what my husband at the time did. So we were doing it together ish. And fell into the mindset of I want to be a coach, but I don't know what kind of coach I want to be. So I just started brainstorming. She helped me quiet my mind, not, yeah, quiet my mind, but also the outside resources, like the opinions of others and what I was actually doing at work. She helped me clear out all of those things to where I could listen to my own intuition and my own thoughts. So that's when I decided I want to be a coach and came up with the Align method. But shortly after that is when dad got really sick and he passed away. So obviously that's on the back burner at this point. And then dad passed away, went through all of that. And if it wasn't for the tools and the practices that my mentor had taught me at that point, the somatics and the embodiment and the nervous system regulation, the just resources that I had and the community that I had at the time, I would not have been able to make it through to where I am today. So I owe her a lot of credit for that. And then also honor myself for taking the time and the space to do those things. Because it's a choice. We all have a choice, you know? Um, so after that, I was like, all right, we're gonna go to Florida because that was my decision. Like that was my goal. So we got to Florida. So at this point, I had moved back home. Dad got sick. I hired a mentor, lost dad, moved to Florida, and then after all of that, I decided to divorce my husband. And that had been a long time coming, but it was a decision that I landed on because of what I mentioned at the beginning. Like life's way too short to be anything but happy. And it was like I heard that from him. I did hear that from him. So I was able to make that decision very grounded. Like I actually had zero question of if I was making the right or wrong decision. I knew that was the right decision, which comes into play with my align method because I'd already went through the awareness, the let it flow. So ALIGN, and then intuition got really loud. So I was able to make clearer decisions and go through my own grounded transitions, which is the G. And by December of last year, I was in. I had a brand new fucking identity. And I didn't recognize the old Dakota. So that's why I feel so passionate about what I do today, is because I've been where you guys are sitting. I've been through the hard stuff. And I know there's more hard stuff coming, but I know and I trust that the tools that I have now and where I'm going to be able to make it through it. And any transition I need to make is going to be grounded. So, my first pillar, self-abandonment to self-awareness. So learn how survival mode disconnects you from your truth, your voice, and your aliveness. So self-abandonment looks like repeatedly disconnecting from your own needs, your truth, your feelings, your own intuition or desires in order to gain approval or avoid conflict, feel safe, or be accepted. I I self-abandoned my whole life. I was always bowing down to make sure everybody else was happy, people pleasing. I was an overthinker. Um, Definitely emotionally shutting down. Was an avoidant attachment. I would adapt to the room, and that's honestly in my chart. So it's like, I don't know if you guys do the whole astrology thing, but it's in my chart. That's the unhealthy part of a Capricorn, is that I adapt to the room. I didn't want to disappoint anybody. I struggled to say no, so I would say yes, even though I didn't mean it, and it would disconnect me from everything. So if you could think of a time where you abandon yourself around certain people, around conflict, when you were trying to express emotions, maybe when you were setting boundaries or choosing yourself, just think of some memories that come up when you abandon yourself. And if you feel like it or something's coming through, go ahead and throw it in the chat. Yeah.
You want
No.
us to speak?
Um, we can. Yeah.
Well, you said throw it in the chat. So,
Either way. Oh, yeah. Throw it in the chat, or if you feel comfortable with it, go ahead and speak. I'm good with that.
um, so it's a lot for me, honestly, all over the board since I was young. Um, I don't have a whole lot of specific memories, but a lot of the ones that I can think of have to do with myself internally, like questioning myself a lot, how I'm dealing with things. A lot of it has to do with my husband because I am a people pleaser, obviously, but like it's a lot easier for me to want to please him a lot more than myself or more than me speaking because anytime that I have spoke my truth, um, I felt the response was not being heard but belittled or pushed aside or joked about.
Mm. Yeah. So you didn't feel safe expressing all of that.
No,
Yeah.
not ever since day one.
Yeah.
Not all the time. Not all the time. I'm not trying to paint this picture that he's horrible because he's not. He's great. But like he's great in so many ways. But when it comes to real emotions and real things and speaking my voice on a lot of things, I feel like he doesn't listen or doesn't hear me or thinks he knows better.
Yeah. No, and
So
that's
I quit responding a lot of times unless I'm just like super aggravated, which I never want to be because I'm actually a pretty easy flow, pretty chill person, and I like to keep it that way.
yeah.
But
No, you do a good job.
I
It's
like to keep my peace.
yeah. You do a good job, but internally I know it's a battle sometimes.
Yep.
Some other ones, not speaking my truth with my parents, heard every single romantic relationship up until now. Yep. Elisa resonated with my old self, staying in relationships that weren't safe, not trying to be loved. I've recently, go away. My favorite forms of self-abandonment is hyper productivity. Oof. Yeah, I hear that. Taking care of friends before myself, super sneaky because it makes me feel good too. But my cup runs out. Yeah. Yeah, that one's huge. Lindsay said, as a mother, wife, partner, friend, daughter, I definitely micro abandon myself. Okay. On the daily to adapt to what's needed for that person. Yeah. So in a bunch of different places, it could come up daily in all areas. Those are really, really powerful, guys.
Can I say something else because I'm just now. finding the chat part. Um, my I do it really bad with my loved ones, especially the ones I have left that are older, my grandparents to be specific right now. I haven't even told them that we moved. I avoided seeing them a lot, and I'm trying to understand why I do that and change it because I know it hurts them and I don't mean to hurt them, but I did the same thing with my parents before they passed and I regret it. And I don't know why I'm still repeating that pattern, but that's something that I know that I need to work through and heal from. And that's part of that abandoning myself and my voice and what's in my heart to say. And I'm not communicating.
Yeah. Well, we're about to work through that. So if you read the question, yeah, how do you notice self-abandonment showing up right now? So before we were looking at just memories of it, where we might have recognized that before. And now I want you to think about right now, where do you see it showing up? So Cam said hers. You don't have to tell me, but some examples are emotionally shutting down, the adapting, things that you guys have all mentioned, disappointing people, saying no or saying yes when we mean no, all of those things. So grab something like that in your head. And this is where we're going to journal. So we're going to talk to the little girl inside of us tonight, the version of yourself that didn't know any better at the time. And without judgment or shame and with compassion and love. So you're talking to the little girl inside of you. I want you to sit with her, with the version of you that thought you had to abandon yourself to keep the peace. So this is a little girl that didn't know any better. Was she lacking confidence? Was she afraid of being made fun of? Was she embarrassed? What was she feeling when she made the decision to abandon herself? Because she didn't know at the time. So you're going to write an apology to her and tell her how she was feeling. Just call in that version of you and really sit with it. I'm going to give you probably like 3 to 5 minutes just to sit with her and tell her you're sorry for not knowing any better, or not for not knowing any better. You're sorry that she had to deal with what she did and the consequences of what that looked like, and that now you know better. And where you are now, tell her you're sorry and how you became or on your way to the most alive and expressed and confident and bad bitch that you are, or how you're the best mom that you are, or you're the best daughter that you are, or you're the best friend. I don't know what version that you called in just now, but just sit with her with compassion. Ask her what she needed to hear at the time. Did she need to hear that she is loved? Did she need to hear that she was doing the best that she could with the knowledge that she had? Did she think she was doing the right thing?
to do with your kiss on my neck. I don't know what feels true, but this feels right, so stay and say.
As you've called in this little girl, just remind yourself and also her where you're at right now and the good parts and the hard parts. But maybe you have rekindled that relationship with your parents, or maybe you have found friends that light your fucking soul up. If it was a friend that you thought you were doing the right thing, you showed up for them and you lost that. Tell her about the connection you have now and how she gets to choose herself freely every single day. Just remind her that she was doing the best that she could with the knowledge she had. And promise her that you're going to choose yourself. You're going to choose her, that younger version of yourself every day, and you're never going to abandon her again. And as you're finishing up, if you're already done, feel free to either put it in the chat, or I think our group's small enough if anyone wants to share some reflections that came through.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Wow. Some big emotions came up for me that I was not expecting to come up, but just I apologize to little Joelle for feeling like she ever could not express her emotions and thinking that there was something wrong with her for feeling so much. And I told her that when she grows up, she'll be able to express herself and feel it all, and that it will call in the people that never will tell her that she's too much.
I love this. That's beautiful.
I'm so happy to have some of them here with me right now, witnessing.
Yeah, same. Same.
Well, I will share. You can hear me, right? Yes. I feel like we're back in COVID times. Like, can you hear me? I wrote It Wasn't Your Job. I feel like I grew up in a household where I had to always like temperature check, like are we happy today or were we not happy today? My mom would say all the time, like anything we would do, if she didn't like it, it was like, oh, hero to zero, hero to zero. And I always felt like it was my job then to not make her feel like a zero. And so then I carry that into my own life. I'm constantly temperature checking. I'm constantly like, okay, is this person happy with me? Are they not happy with me? Or what, like, and so what I've never really thought about it. Like, I've never really thought about like, who did I have to become when I didn't know any better? Like I didn't know that I was building the CD-ROM inside of me, and I wish I could have like what I said now, what I wish I would have known them is just like it wasn't your job. Like it wasn't your job to make her feel better. And it's not your job now to like people feel what they feel. Your job is what you feel. It's not your job to temperature check and, you know,
Yeah.
I've never thought about it that way before.
So when you said that, could you fill into what that little girl felt when you told her that?
Um, I think that there's a part of me that was like, well, wait, I don't want to be that little, like I wish maybe what you were asking was like to tap into that naiveness of the little girl now, like I want to take that little girl out of that. I mean, I had a beautiful childhood. I had wonderful parents.
Yeah.
It was just emotionally unstable.
Yeah.
And then because of that, I've carried that into every relationship, friendship, job, like I'm constantly temperature checking, thinking that it's me, it's my fault. I can change it, like, oh, if this person is this way today, it's because I didn't say the right thing or I said too much or I did too much. So I felt myself kind of not wanting to go back to that little girl and more so be like, okay, you've identified now maybe that's why like you are what you are. So now be better for my own kid, as a mama of three, then it's like, oh, I don't want to go back to that little girl. Now, how can I change that for my kids?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that the biggest revelation I had when I moved across the country was the world doesn't revolve around me.
Yeah. You're
I
not
was
that
like,
important. Like you're
my
not that
it was such a
important.
weight lifted off my shoulders. I was like, oh, I actually don't have the power to make your day shit. And what a relief that is. Like,
Yeah.
but as far as going back and sitting with that younger version, pull her, take her with you. Go back and tell her, like, yo, you were doing a lot of work in the world. You tried to make the world revolve around you at this point, but come with me. It doesn't have to be like that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know that it's much better, but I can recognize it now, at least.
Awesome. Hey, awareness is key.
First step.
First step is awareness. Let's see. Maddie, were you talking to Joelle in your chat?
Me?
I
Oh,
saw, I do it a lot
that
for my
was
mom.
that was from before.
Okay.
Yeah. But I guess I can share. I mean, I kind of like told like her that I'm sorry for abandoning her. I mean, she learned self-abandonment skills and she's like a lot of times I think my inner child and like my ego and unhealed parts are like what's running the show now still. And so like as my like more aware self, higher self, whatever, I kind of it's similar, I think, to the both who've spoken already, just like apologizing for trying to like be all the things for all people. I think that my like productivity, people pleasing, trying to make everyone happy, trying to like stay busy was a fear of being with my emotions, a fear of expressing them because they were too much. Um, my dad was like very explosive growing up. My mom was very emotional, very needy. They had a really toxic environment. And I think I learned from a young age that like if I just stay busy and I like get good grades and I do everything perfectly, that that's what safe is. And so now like when I'm going through something hard, I mean, I have some practice. I have better practices where I do sit with myself, but I find myself still gravitating toward just like staying busy to avoid those big feelings because at one point I was taught that they were too much and I wasn't safe in my body. So, my apology was to myself for like continuing to abandon that little girl inside of me when she's like crying out for help and needs attention and like kind of thanking her and like telling her like you did your best, like you got us to here, um like you can relax now. I think that's been like the conversation I've been trying to have with her is like you can relax, like I got you, like adult me is gonna like take the wheel.
Yeah,
Uh,
I love that. I'm sure
yeah.
she's jumping with joy.
Oh, she's kind of pissed, honestly. Like,
Mad
she's
at you.
like, "Are you serious? Like, I've been doing this shit this entire time." Like, that's honestly what happens when I like have these conversations. At first, she's like, "Where the fuck have you been?" Like,
Hey.
hey, I'm like, oh, "Okay, shit, yeah, it's been a minute. I'm sorry."
Sounds
She's
like
mad
Maddie,
right
I know.
now, but
Oh, that's good. Anybody else want to share?
Elisa does.
I'll share.
Okay.
So I'm forgiving younger Alicia for putting everybody before myself, thinking I wasn't worthy for receiving love in the way that I wanted, for putting others' voices in my head on what I should be doing or feeling, carrying too much of everybody. Friends, family, jobs, etc., thinking I wasn't worthy or smart enough to do more. And I said to her, we didn't know anything else, and that's okay. I promise you that will never happen again. I will guide, protect, and we are her. We're free. You're enough. You're understood. And just for everybody, all these people could have played a different role. It's not our responsibility.
There is a theme here. My goodness.
Oh,
I love it. How do you feel now?
I feel great.
Good. Joy, I saw you come up.
Hey, hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I was muted. Can I ask a question on what she shared?
Yeah.
Just just to know that I perceived that correctly. A lot of that sounded like more of your older self.
Yeah. So that was writing the letter to my younger self and then coming back and like allowing her to know that like we can let that go. It's not our role and like that I have her now and I'll protect and guide her for the rest of my life.
Okay. I just wanted to be I wanted to hear you right. And
Oh
okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Joy, baby.
Hey, baby. This is I just I've been emotional all day long, and I think it's just like continuing to pour into this, but this has been coming up like this pretty much exact conversation. Hi, baby boy.
Aw.
Um, um, this exact conversation came up in therapy last week, and I had to do like a similar exercise, and it was so hard. And I wasn't like angry at my therapist for making me do it, but like she was like, no, we're gonna let like it was so hard for me. And she's like, we're just gonna like we sit here until you
Th-
are able to like get through or
This
like
was hard.
something
This is hard.
really hard. And then like Joelle recently like brought something forward about this and now this. So it's just really interesting that this like theme is like really like in my face right now. So to actually have to like sit here and write to myself, um, I said that I was sorry that I put so much emphasis on external validation that I barely left room to discover what lit you up from the inside out. Um, and just reminding myself that I'm choosing differently now and I'm trying to speak from a place of authenticity and just surrounding myself with people who honor that and encourage that rather than try to dull me because there's a lot of me and
Mhm.
those in my life now are like good, bring it, let's do it rather
Yeah,
than you know
And you deserve that. You
doing my
deserve
life.
that validation and that appreciation.
Appreciate that.
you do. And that permission slip, it's so important to have people in your life. And we're very fortunate to have people in our life that are permission slips to just expand. So I'm really glad that you found that now.
You're much part of that, baby girl. Thank you.
Oh. Hi Donna.
Can can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Unfortunately, I got stuck at the ER today and
Oh
I'm
no.
just now with a friend, just now getting to join you.
That's okay. Welcome. I'm sorry that you've had a long day. I'll get you a little bit more caught up. We're kind of going through a reflection that we just did with our younger self. Um, Taylor, did you want to share anything or throw it in the chat?
Yeah, I don't know if I regret too much. I was a people pleaser, because that's what my soul was, and I liked doing that as a child and growing up. I'm sorry for not being more graceful throughout life. You love to help people and put a smile on their face somewhere along the way. I stopped making people smile while I helped them. Sorry, I'm emotional too.
Do not be sorry.
Uh, uh, because my soul likes to help people, you know?
Everybody needs that.
Let's just give her
I'm
space.
thankful for you.
Uh,
Sorry.
You're
my
okay.
was really good at taking care of everything, and I liked that. I admired that. He had 5 siblings, and he took care of everything, holidays, birthdays. I wanted to be that way. Um, but he was like so much cooler about it, like he did it because it needed to be done. And I think I started to get upset that no one like helped. My sisters never stepped up. So I became angry, even though I like to be a people pleaser. So I need to like I actually am proud of myself. Like I don't really have like I think the little girl would have been proud that I showed up and took care of my dad. And I think people pleasing can be a good thing that matches your personality. I have boundaries for sure. I think my biggest regret is just not being so graceful throughout the people pleasing. If I'm going to show up for people, I need to be graceful about it
Graceful to yourself or to others?
to others.
So, yes, I think I can totally relate with you on that. I used to identify as a people pleaser. I didn't have boundaries though. I would give and give and give, and I would lose myself in that. So to hear that you have boundaries and that you actually enjoy it, that I think that's huge. And to give,
Have boundaries with men. I don't have boundaries with my family. They
right.
get and yeah, I think that that could be unhealthy in a way.
Yeah.
Uh, I needed a lot more help in the last few years, and so yeah. I don't know what I don't know what that would translate into. What I would forgive myself for.
Um, from what I'm hearing, because you said grace with others, right? Did you feel like because they weren't giving the effort that you were? Is that kind of where that's falling in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Just
Um,
everything falls on me when it's the family. I'm the youngest, and I like to do the things like plan the birthdays and the holidays, but it would be nice to have some help. And you get a little resentful when no one offers to help. I decorate, I clean, I cook, I buy the food. You get resentful along the way, even though those are the things I love to do.
you love to do it. Do you
Yeah.
ask for help?
Yes.
Yeah.
Scream about it now. Now I've become like a shell. I think I told you that. I'm just like not human
Yeah.
anymore.
Um, no, you're doing everything you can, and eventually we can step back into like what makes you feel like you need to be that person, aside from the fact that you actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because there is a boundary there is a line, and to figure out what that line is, because it's probably coming from childhood. It's something that you felt you wanted to do or needed to do to get the validation. So it's going back maybe even a little bit further than the version of yourself that you called in today, and we can do that at another time. But I think we're getting somewhere. Definitely think we're getting somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah,
Thank you for sharing.
of course.
Cam, did you want to share?
I will say, "Aw, kitty," because I was muted. And I love your tears.
Thank you. It's
I feel you. It's not the same, but I feel it. Um, man, I don't know that I really want to share everything right now.
That's okay.
I will say my my stuff stems from a long time of abandonment and not being not being told. I can resonate with her in the sense that I am that person that always wants to um make people happy. I'm a healer by nature. It's in my blood. I know that now. But at a young age, I'm an empath too, and I've always been very sensitive. And it took a lot of heartache for me to like I shut off at one point, um, and only wanted to please because and not and like didn't care about me being heard since a young age. Um, because I I don't know. I feel like because of the things that I went through, I just wanted to be that person that would listen and everyone could lean on. And I don't always have the right words to say to everybody, but my heart is always pure in the sense that I I don't like for anyone to hurt, and I want everything to be okay. And I know that that stems from a young age, losing people at a young age. My dad at a young age. My birth mom didn't raise me. So I wrote some things down. I'm sorry that didn't you didn't know that you were going to be okay. You didn't know how to grieve because your mom was also learning how to grieve. I know this now. Back then, I didn't know, so I just became like this. I put up like a wall, like a strong shield, I guess, to be a light for everyone because I know that I've always had that in me, and that's what brings me joy is to please others.
Yeah.
So I don't have any remorse for giving too much. I have remorse for not giving to myself enough. That's for sure. And knowing what I need.
So were you able to tell your younger self all that and what you're gonna do moving forward?
I don't know what I'm going to do moving forward, but I will say I want to give myself more grace, not others, but myself more grace.
Yeah.
When I feel like I'm feeling guilty for not doing enough, but to listen to my inner voice on that guilt and just what would make that guilt feel lighter and just do it. Don't don't listen to the fear of how somebody's going to respond to it. Like, for instance, I said I haven't talked to my grandparents. I feel guilt for not talking to them, and I fear what their response will be because I already know that they hurt from me not talking to them. So I want to move forward, just doing it and not listening to the fear, but listening to myself and what I know that they need and what I need because I know what I need is to hear them and for them to hear how I feel.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. All right, so seeking approval to self-leadership. So become the woman who no longer needs permission to trust herself. The more deeply you trust yourself, the less you need everyone else's approval to honor your truth. So it's about getting in tune with yourself because you can't think your way into self-trust. Until your body feels safe enough to experience a new reality, it will continue choosing approval over authenticity. Does that resonate with anybody? Just raise your hand. A little bit.
You
I
cannot think your way into self-trust. Just
no, no, you sure can't.
like,
As much as we want
damn,
to,
that's such a big call out.
literally. And you and I have actually had this conversation.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. So for those, yeah, story time. I actually had the chance to practice what I preach this year, and it was a lot. It was a big decision that I was having to make. It was to either go back home. So at the beginning of this class, I was telling you how my boss had called me, asked me to come back home. I went home, but it was for a different reason. So this year, same thing was happening. The place I was working at was the machine was going down, or they were replacing the machine. So that meant I'm out of work now for the majority of the summer, basically April through August. I found that out, it was either I go and travel 2 hours to a different location and keep my rate and keep my job, or drop down a status to PRN, which is as needed, and only work every now and then, but that's obviously not steady income. So it was like that was my two options to stay at that particular place. So I hear that. I didn't panic because I learned not to panic because I know it sounds cliche, but everything's going to happen the way it's supposed to. And it always does if you let it flow, which is the L in a line. But regardless, um, I got a phone call from my old boss back home. And this is, mind you, this is in Florida where I'm thriving. I love it here. I don't want to go back to Tennessee to work, but my boss called me, hey, so and so's going on maternity leave. Can you come help me out through the summer? And I was like, oh, everything aligned. That makes sense. This machine goes down. I'll go up there for the summer and then I'll come back home. But everything in my body told me no, because I love Florida. I love where I'm living. I didn't want to go back home. Tennessee is really hot and humid and mucky. Donna knows in the summer. So that wasn't what I wanted to do. And I love my community here. I love everything about it. So it was like, okay, but I have to have income. I have to do this. I could go see my family. And then that fear started creeping in of, oh my God, I'm being called to go back home. And it's all aligning and it's fitting all the boxes. Is somebody sick? So I started living out of a fear mindset, and I was about to make a decision based on fear because of the pattern that had just happened a year and a half prior. I was like, I'm being called to go home. That means I need to go home because somebody's getting sick. And then my body started reacting. I was sick to my stomach, everything. It was just like very tense and contracted. So I fell back into old patterns. I started reaching out to people. I started talking to people around here, people back home, trying to get everybody else's opinion and validate the decision I was trying to make. And I finally had enough. I cut off social media, I cut off everything, got quiet with myself, listened, asked my body what I needed to do, and came to the decision. And I'm going to show you how shortly, but I came to the decision of no, I'm not going back home because that would be me living out of fear. That's making a decision fear based. And then called my boss the next morning and I was like, look, I'm not coming home. I'm sorry. I'll figure something else out. And he said, it's okay. I really didn't need you anyways. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, and then within a week, I had a job offer, a travel job offer, which I love traveling in Colorado, which is one of the states I love, making a crazy amount of money it was like a 2 week contract, but it was validation enough for me to know that by me honoring myself and my desire and my inner child, I got rewarded for it. Now, will I get rewarded every time I make a hard decision? No, probably not. Not especially not with monetary value, but at least I'll get some sort of confirmation. But that's how I learned, listen to your fucking body because she knows the answer. So, with that, I want you guys to think of a time. Oh, yeah. Think of something that you have been seeking clarity around. Maybe it's a decision about work or a relationship, a boundary that you do or don't want to set, next step in your career, next step in a relationship, next step in something. Think of something that you've been seeking clarity around. Everybody got something ish. Because what we talked about earlier with awareness being key, This is true. As long as you're aware of your patterns and what's going on, that's key. But without regulation, it can feel overwhelming, which is why I started getting overwhelmed. So before we move into building self-trust, which is my next pillar, we're going to do a live demo. We're all going to sit with that answer or that question and see if an answer comes up. It doesn't have to, and it may not come through, but I at least want to try it. This is how I do it. So if you can, just take a moment to sit back into your seat or relax a little bit more into your chair. And if you feel safe enough to do so, just close your eyes. Just take some deep breaths through your nose. Out through your mouth. Another deep breath in through the nose. And out through your mouth. And allow your body to settle. Just notice the support beneath you again. You're not trying to fix anything here. You're not trying to adjust, not trying to move anything. You don't need to get it right. There's no getting this right. Just come exactly as you are. And bring that situation to your mind. So whatever that question was, bring that to your mind. When you brought that to your mind, what happened in your body? Again, you're not trying to change anything. Just bring it to your awareness and notice what happens in your body. So when you have your question or what you're debating, imagine if you said yes. No matter what you think, just imagine saying yes to whatever you're debating. What happens inside your body when you say that? It might feel expansive, might feel tight, like constriction, maybe a sense of relief. Again, you're not trying to change anything, just being aware of it. And now, what happens if you said no? Same question, different answer. Expansion, contraction, a tightness, a sense of relief, an airy feeling. What answer is your body trying to show you? And take one more good deep breath in through your nose. And exhale. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back into the space. How many of you already knew the answer before we started? Anybody want to share? Or did you know the answer? But were you able to recognize any of those? Clarity, was there contraction? Was there expansion or emotion? Some sort of relief that came through? And just put in the chat if you felt anything. If not, this is, again, you're not trying to change anything or fix it. It's just being aware of what your body's trying to tell you. So your answer was yes, Joelle? Yeah.
Yes. Well, I was thinking of two paths. So,
So you chose one over the other. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it was like one path was yes and one path was no. Yeah.
I
So I
love
chose
that.
yes. Yeah.
And Lindsay smiled when she said yes. Love that.
You know, white. It's white. No.
I wasn't aware that the thought I've of overcoming my fears was going to feel light and peaceful and freeing. Oh, I felt anxiety of the thought of going through with it. That's beautiful. For this particular question, the no for me made my chest tighten.
Wait, I meant to say yes. My bad. The yes made my chest tight for this question.
Okay. Hey,
I was like, I'm getting, it was weird because the yes was like a no. It was a no to the yes.
yeah, that makes sense. That actually segues beautifully into this next slide.
I don't know how to chat it into here. I don't know how to use like a
That's
lot of
okay.
both of my paths were scary. So
So both of them caused constriction.
yes. Mhm.
So it was either answer caused that.
Both excitement and fear in both paths.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. When I said no, my body jolted.
Mhm.
And
No,
it
as
really,
in, so did that give you a excited? When you say jolted, was it like tightness or expansion?
Like literally jolted, like I was gonna like throw up,
Mm,
like thinking about yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm like
Yeah.
I'm
No, that
that
makes sense.
that just like shook me.
Yeah. Donna said, for this, with me, the yes feels right, even though the no makes more sense and fits the worldview better.
Yeah.
So the yes gave you a feeling of expansion or
Peace.
openness, peace.
Peace.
Yeah.
Although I know when I go to talk to others, nobody's going to understand. And that's part of my issue is just always trying to do the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, yeah, the whole thing is seeking approval over self-leadership. And the thing
Yeah.
is, your body's going to tell on you really quick. So it's a matter of honoring yourself and thinking even a little bit further into the future of if I honor my truth, if I honor my own authority in my own life, because essentially all we have is us, and
Mhm.
the decisions that we make, we have to live with those. They don't, you know?
Well,
So,
there's a person that everybody loves, including myself. But when I'm around, my entire body shuts down.
oof,
And for quote unquote no apparent reason, but it does. Like I immediately go into fight or flight. And it it's an extremely hard path
yeah.
to follow, but I don't see a choice.
So with that decision, if when you honor it, how would you feel that I think that's the whole point of this practice is to think about how it would feel to honor what your body is telling you and knowing that moving forward, that's the feeling that you would embody. So if you honor that, that's a physical feeling that you get to embody from here on out until your next big decision, or even if, even through your next big decision. Because again, it's you're the one that has to pay the consequences of on not honoring yourself. You're the one that has to feel that constriction in your chest and the tightness in your body and in that fight or flight mode. And the way you show up, not only for yourself, but for others is going to, that's what's not honoring yourself. That's what it's going to affect.
I, I don't, I've just always struggled with the fear of regret. With every decision, there's going to be regret one way or another. And I've always let myself be controlled by the fear of regret. If I make the wrong decision and I feel paralyzed to make a decision because I know that there is the potential to be there either way.
Yeah. Which is why I wanted to do it like this so that you would know what it felt like in your body to make the decision that honored yourself, because that is the feeling that you get to carry with you. It may not be easy, and I'm not saying that, that's always going to be light, airy, and expansive, but after the work that you're putting in, the decision you're making, and after the dust settles, because it explodes sometimes. We make a decision, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. But eventually the dust settles, and then everything starts leveling out again.
Yeah.
It's not
Right.
easy, but it is doable, and you deserve to live a life. I'm gonna say it again, but you deserve to live a life that sets your fucking soul on fire. Because when you live like that, you start attracting the right people, you start attracting the opportunities, you start attracting the right circumstances that allow you to expand even more. But you have to honor your body and yourself and your own intuition to get
Mhm.
there. And then you can be that for other people. You can be that permission slip for other people to make the right decisions for themselves.
I definitely can see that. And that's something I've never given myself permission to do. I've always put everybody else ahead of me.
Yeah. Well, everyone here is giving you the permission slip to put yourself first.
Thank you.
Dakota, something I put in the chat and like that kind of resonates hearing because I'm very indecisive. I have like this fear of making the right choice. Um, and I think a lot of times when I'm faced with a decision, like there's fear coming up on both sides of that. Um, but like, because sometimes doing the right thing for you is really scary and it's scary for different reasons. It's like, it's scary because you might disappoint somebody or it might like be very new and something you've never done before. Um, and so like that was kind of coming up for me too. And like being able to tell the difference between like the outcome is the scary thing versus like there's stuff around it that's scary. I don't know if that makes sense. Like
It
being able
does.
to like, okay, this is like driven by fear versus like there's fear here, but it's
Yeah.
like I want to lean into that. I
Yeah.
don't know if you have any like,
You're
in-
gonna love this next slide.
okay, I'm ready.
You're gonna love it. Um, Maddie said that, and Joelle said do right by you. I bet that was going to Donna.
Hmm.
Okay. Sometimes fear says that this is unfamiliar, but misalignment says this isn't for me. So when, like Maddie was talking about, so when you're asking yourself a question, you get an answer. So the fear softens when we bring safety and awareness to it. Once we allow ourselves to sit with that, it softens instead of constricts. Misalignment will become more clear. Okay. So sometimes the contraction that you feel is a signal of misalignment. And then sometimes it's simply the nervous system saying, I don't know, I've never went down this road before, it's unfamiliar, but I'm willing to do it. My body's telling me to do it. It feels expansive. So instead of, the question being, do I feel fear? It's what is the fear trying to protect me from? So if it's fear-based contraction, so you said yes, and it's like, oh, okay, fear-based contraction, you're getting, and you say yes to it anyways, you're gonna, these questions come up of like, okay, well, what if people judge me? What if I'm wrong? What if I've disappointed somebody at this point? And what if I can't handle it? But instead of the contraction, you're still feeling fear, but instead of contraction, you're feeling activated, you're feeling nervous, maybe excited even, a little shaky, but often there's curiosity, there's expansion, and there's an inner knowing that you made and are making the right decision, even though it's scary. Okay. The misalignment based contraction, it sounds like you're trying to convince yourself. And I think we've seen a little bit of all of those in here, but it's trying to convince yourself. You already know that something feels off. So this is misalignment. This is fear and misalignment. And it requires you to abandon yourself, which is what we've been talking about. And you're forcing it. So it's going to feel heavy. So as the unfamiliar scare, that fear felt expansive and like exciting, kind of jittery feeling, the misalignment's going to feel heavy, depleted, drained. You're going to get your answer or you're going to fight it. You're going to get your answer and you're going to go against it. That's when you're going to still feel depleted. You're going to still feel drained and disconnected from your body. So you're going to feel that even after your answer. So that's why it's so important to listen to your body. Did that answer that at all?
Oh, me? Yeah. Yes.
A little bit.
Thank you.
So we were talking about this earlier about having the group of people, but imagine what becomes possible when you're consistently surrounded by women who choose truth over performance, self-trust over approval, and expression over self-abandonment. So my action mission for you guys here is to make the decision to place yourself in environments that make it easier for you to hear your own truth. With that, I want you to find people, if you don't already have them, that challenge your thoughts instead of tell you what you want to hear. Because we all know there's one person we can call, it's going to tell us exactly what we want to hear. And then there's probably 5 other people we can call, or maybe just one, that will ask us questions that challenge us to think about what the answer is inside of our body. They're going to ask you challenging questions. So it doesn't have to be me. I'm not saying call me and I'm going to be that person for you or whoever it is in your life, but I just want you to be conscious of the people you're surrounding yourself with, and if they are causing or not causing, but giving you permission to expand, or if they're causing you to shrink back into a smaller like form of yourself, essentially.
Thank you.
Okay, I think everybody's back. Performance. So we're leaving performance and stepping into authentic expression. So stop performing who you think you need to be and fully embody who you are. Cam, do you mind muting your?
I
Thank you. Tell Chad to shut up. At some point in our lives, we all learned that being ourselves wasn't always safe. So we learned to be agreeable, low maintenance, quiet, strong, easygoing, successful, perfect, or independent. So, maybe you were a kid with a bunch of other siblings and you did what it took to get the attention or something along those lines. At some point, we learned that being ourselves wasn't safe. And that served a purpose for a while. We did, like we've talked about, we did what we had to do. But now that we know better, we must do better. There it goes. So the most authentic version of you was never meant to be understood by every single person. And I think we get caught up in our people pleasing parts of us that think that we need to be a certain somebody or act a certain way so that other people are happy. So we either shrink ourselves or we get louder, whatever we're called to do to make sure everyone understands us. But that's the thing, not every single person is going to understand us. We understood that, or like we crave to be understood, so we fall back into those patterns. But she was meant to be expressed. So expression isn't always speaking your truth. It's laughing a little louder, dancing, taking up space, allowing yourself to be seen. It's allowing yourself to feel the emotion, sharing your big ideas with people, even though they're not going to understand. There's going to be one person that it lands with, at least, being playful, feeling alive. So we're going to embody what it feels like to step into our authentic expression. If you're in a place where you can lay down, that's where I would like you to start. You're just going to lay flat on your back. I'm going to ask you, can you guys still hear me and the music? It's going to get a little bit louder, but
is like water.
Good.
It is fluid, it is transient, it is
The
changing.
Comfortable.
music can go up maybe a little.
Do what?
You
Like maybe
are
the
something the whole
or I can
universe
do
is
that.
doing in the same way that a wave is something that the whole ocean is doing. The way to become one with the universe is to trust it. That is to say,
As you're laying down, I
be
just want
able
you to
to drift like a cloud.
feel, again, you're going to feel what's underneath you. Take some big deep breaths in through your nose. Out through your
Seeing that
mouth.
all life is a magnificent illusion, and there is absolutely nothing to be afraid of.
So if you've ever felt more like yourself in a concert, festival, or rave, maybe dancing in your kitchen, singing in your car, anywhere you felt completely free, this is for you. Embodiment normally teaches us how to become aware of our bodies. I want to show you something a little different today. I want to show you what it feels like to come alive inside of your body. Take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Allow your eyes to soften.
What you do is what the whole universe is doing at the place you call here and now.
Everybody hear me? Thumbs up. Thank you. Notice where your body's making contact with the floor. This is just pulling yourself into the space. Notice where you're holding tension, where you're holding yourself. Another big deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Notice here where you might be making yourself smaller. And then notice where you're craving more freedom. And just keep breathing through here. In through your nose, out through your mouth. I want you to imagine the version of you who trusts herself. The version of you that doesn't need permission. Maybe has no idea what is about to happen. Just allows yourself to relax into this space. Be present with yourself and with your body. If it feels comfortable, I want you to kind of start moving your fingers. Move your toes a little. Maybe roll your ankle some, roll your wrist a little bit. If it feels comfortable, maybe moving up and down with your spine. This can be sexy, this can be obnoxious, this can be whatever your body wants to do. The version of you who speaks her truth. The version of you that gets to express herself fully, that's who we're calling in right now. Whatever feels good in your body, let her move. Where does she live inside of your body? If you gave her permission to just move the way she wanted, where does she go? How does she move? This is not choreographed. This is not performance. If it feels comfortable, your invitation here to get roll over onto your stomach and push up onto your knees, allowing yourself to expand here. Let your body show you what she wants. Listen to what she is telling you. Allow the fluidity to move through your spine. Loosen the elbows up a little bit. Loosen your shoulders up a little bit. What would happen if you stopped trying to move correctly? Keep breathing.
I just thought twice fine.
Breathing. There is no right way to move here. Not choreographed. What would happen if there was no right way to move? Let go of the expectation what this is supposed to look like. Breathe into the space, breathe into your freedom. Feel what freedom feels like. Mission here to stand, to expand, take up space. The space is yours, sis. The space is yours. You're allowed to move and breathe, to expand, to open. The little girl inside of you did not grow up wanting to become a healer. You grew up wanting to feel alive. To expand, to get bigger, to take up more space. The little girl inside of you is alive. Feel free. Feel it. Show her what it feels like. And as you're carrying that younger version of you with you. What does freedom feel like? If you were to embody freedom, what does it feel like? Not what does it look like, what does it feel like? Not what does it sound like? Freedom feel like to you? Beautiful. Keep moving if you feel like it. We're just going to slow down the movements a little bit. Come back to center. Feel the aliveness, feel the joy, feel the expansion, or nothing. You may have felt nothing, and that's okay too. Nothing is a feeling. Numbness is a feeling. As you're coming back into this and you're slowing your movements down, place a hand on your heart. Hold yourself. Reflect on what part of you just came alive right now. Where has that little girl been hiding? The one that wanted to connect and play. Where has she been hiding? We spend so much of our time abandoning ourselves, choosing others. And you get to choose yourself. You choose that little girl. And you let her, you give her space to take up space. She gets to come alive and she gets to be free. And that's what you get to feel like. That is what's embodied. Take some good deep breaths in here, in through your nose, out through your mouth. When you're ready and you feel complete, if you're not, take your time coming back to the space. But if you are, you are more than welcome back. Welcoming everybody back in. Does anybody want to drop in the chat how they're feeling? Maybe a little bit of freedom, sleepy and calm, a little crunchy, free and happy. I love it. Anybody feel any resistance to it? A little embarrassed?
I feel tight and locked up.
Who said that?
Me. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't relax.
that's okay.
It's gonna take a long time, probably.
Feeling too. When you say you can't relax, is it constant or is it here in this space as far as the practice that we did?
It's just constant.
Yeah. Have you found anything that helps you feel relaxed?
I smoke weed. Sorry.
No, that you're not alone.
My doctor wanted to give me Xanax, and I said, no, I rather use, medicinal, and that's the only thing I can get to relax. And I'm going to try to not do that any longer, but I'm I'm very tight and stuck right now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I may have something different for you then. I'll message you after.
Okay.
And it kind of goes along with joy. Maybe I'll just put it in the chat, actually. Actually, Taylor, did I send you the emotional release?
I don't think so. You might have.
Okay. I'm gonna put it, I'll try to put it in the chat when we're done here. Joy, I feel some rage. So that music was not helpful at all.
Mhm.
Maybe you just have some rage that needs attention.
Yeah. So this is one of my favorite ways to release emotion because what happens when we have this buildup of energy inside of our body, it just wants a place to move. It needs an escape. It needs a way to get out. And it's not a bad thing. Like energy is not a bad thing. That's what runs this world. But there are different ways you can move that energy. And what I found for me, this is segueing in beautifully, actually. What I found for me was music. And there are different seasons. There's a different theme for every season. So the rage that you two are feeling, I actually had created this emotional release based off of a practice that my mentor gave me where I was supposed to feel love. In that season that I was in, I didn't feel love. I felt rage. And I understand, yeah, it wasn't the music, it wasn't helpful. I completely understand. But I felt rage. So when she was sending me like pick 3 songs that feel like love, I was reaching out to friends, honestly. I'm like, what songs make you feel love? Because right now I don't feel it. My dad was sick. I'm not happy in my marriage. Like I feel fucking rage. And you may have seen it on social media, but I picked 3 songs that helped me get energy out of my body to the point. I mean, I was punching the floor. I threw my neck, I threw my back out. Like, I don't want you to go that far, but the energy was out because I got to a point in my life that I was unable to carry conversations. I would have never been able to, one, have this masterclass, but even talk to people one on one and them hold my attention or me be able to I was getting to the point I was nonverbal because the energy was just weighing me down. So I used music and movement as an escape. That I don't, yeah, I guess it is an escape, but as a way to release that energy. So I call it the emotional release, but you can use it for anything. If you are feeling joy and you're so like excited about everything, use that excitement and move your body and expand. Let that move you into expansion to where you're going to call in more people and opportunities and like environments that allow you to expand more. If you're mad, if you're sad, if you're whatever the feeling it is, if you can pick music or land on some music that's going to allow you to release that energy, it might make a difference in how you start showing up for not only yourself, but for other people, even though we're not people pleasing anymore, but it will help. um, I think we've done really good at what's hitting the hardest. Is there anyone that wants to share an aha moment before I move on?
I just want to say something that just because of like what you just said about music, I know something's wrong with me. Not wrong, like I know something's needing attention, or like I'm off or I'm, like avoiding if I'm not listening to music. Like I always will clock it and be like, oh shit, I'm not listening to a lot of music right now in my life. Or if I'm not dancing. And I just want to thank you because I used to I spent a lot of last year doing a lot of like free, like somatic movement and dance, and I have barely done it the last few months. So yeah, I had a good little cry at the end of that. Thanks so much for bringing this back into my life.
Thank you for that. I'm really glad that it resonated with you. I do have a question. Did you find yourself not using what you knew would work in a form of, I know this is going to make me feel better, so I'm not going to do it? Or was it just on the back burner?
I think it was just similar, like old patterns of like fear of being with whatever was gonna come up, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. That's a good question. I'm gonna have to like I have to sit with that.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah. I just know I do that sometimes. Like I know what'll help, but I'm not gonna do it because I kind of want to be sad and mad right now.
Yeah, I think it's also like, oh, if I better myself right now, then I have to like step up and I have to like embody a newer version of me. And like it's kind of a way of making an excuse to not have to like do because that's scary or whatever, unfamiliar, all
Right.
those things. Yeah. Make the change. Like, oh, if I let anger come up and that anger tells me I need to make a change in my life, then I have to make a fucking change if I honor myself. But I don't have to
Mhm.
do anything if I just don't feel it.
I'm not
So
ready yet.
not ready.
Cool.
All right. Um, Next step. So where we can go from here and using everything that we've learned. I overcomplicated everything. I realized that I overcomplicated healing. I thought it had to look a certain way. I thought it needed a certain aesthetic, and it was supposed to, I just had to think hard enough. I had to cry hard enough and relive moments that caused me a lot of pain so that I could go back, relive it, and then it's all going to go away. And I thought that I would just magically be healed. Like that was the destination. I thought I'm just going to be healed one day. And that was actually never the destination. It was freedom. It was aliveness. So I have created a new method. I found a way to bridge the gap between what freedom or between healed and freedom looks like, and I've called it alive. So going back to the aesthetic look of what embodiment and somatics I thought looked because I'm very visual. I like to like give everything a picture. If you're going to show me something, I'm not going to read the instructions. I need pictures. So I'm very visual. So somatics embodiment always looked very earthy, grounded, like neutral toned, flowy outfits, all of those things. And all of that's fine and it does work and it did work for a certain time, but that's not where I felt the most alive and expansive and free. That's not actually where I found healing. I found healing under neon lights or here with my rave lights and my starry lights that had all the different colors. I found healing when I was dressed in something that didn't leave a lot of room for imagination on what was underneath it. And I decided that fuck the boxes. It literally hit me about 2 months ago. Fuck the boxes. I'm not going to try to fit healing into a box. I'm not going to try to fit somatics and embodiment into the box that I made. It wasn't necessarily something that somebody else made, but that's how I had always envisioned it. So I came up with a new method and it's called Alive. So it's for you. It's a 5 month freedom accelerator for the women ready to reconnect themselves and become the dominant energy in your own life and live a life that sets your fucking soul on fire. Because that's what the Alive method did for me. So how I went through my own Align method, I also went through my own Alive method without even knowing it until I started putting puzzle pieces together. I went through awareness. I went through learning to recognize my own thoughts. Same with the align, but I recognize my own thoughts, my emotions, the patterns, the desires, my nervous system responses that were just so fucking triggering that would like debilitate me. But you can't change what you're unwilling to see. So you have to become aware of it first, which leads you into liberation. So you're going to release those patterns, the expectations, and the conditioning. So once you see it, once you're aware of it, now you get to choose differently. That's that's liberation. That's what am I willing to let go of to become the version of myself I actually want to be. That's where I got divorced. I left my old identity in the past. I started releasing the habits that I had, the people pleaser habits, the saying yes when I actually mean no, I don't actually want to go to that party or I don't actually want to go to hang out with that person. Like I let go of all that. It was very liberating, which once I started clearing out the patterns and the conditioned mindset and all of those things, my intuition got louder. Once I cleared that field, it allowed my intuition to speak to me. So when you stop seeking permission from other people that honestly don't know better because you know better, your own body knows better, when you stop seeking permission, you start hearing yourself a little bit clearer. My mom always said, if it feels good, do it. And I know she didn't mean your intuition, but she was onto something. She literally, from the day I don't know if the day I was born, probably not, because it probably didn't feel good. But if it feels good, do it. And that's like trusting that first thing that comes to your mind. When you sit with yourself and you get that answer and you feel it, you're not gonna try to talk yourself into a different answer because it's gonna make somebody else happy or it's gonna make somebody else sad, whatever it is. So once your intuition gets louder and you start stepping into your own authority, are you going to allow yourself to be seen? Visibility, allowing yourself to be seen in your truth, in your boundaries, in your own desires. So that's where I stopped hiding. And I'll be honest, it was crunchy. It still is crunchy sometimes, but I'm authentic. And I think the ones that have known me for a long amount of time or a short amount of time have seen what I looked like when I was inauthentic to the version of myself now. Like I can see the difference clear as day. A lot of people can. But this is where you allow your voice, your boundaries, your desires, your gifts, your weirdness, and your magic to be seen. And there are times, even as I was creating this slide or this presentation, that I was faced with a decision of am I going to allow myself to be seen right now, or am I going to shrink back in and not be seen? But I forced myself to because I want to be the permission slip for everybody else to be seen as well, to step into their authority, to be expansive, to express themselves, which leads me right into expression. It's the freedom to take up space. So, what you allowed yourself to do here today is the freedom to take up space, which is embodiment in action. And now that you have made yourself visible, the V, now that you've made yourself visible, you are going to start attracting the people that you deserve to have in your life. You're going to attract the experiences, the opportunities, the environments. That's what's going to start coming into your field because you've already cleared everything else out, your intuition. Now you're being seen. Now that you're being seen, other people are going to be like, I want a piece of that. I want a piece of that. So that's when you have, it's a full circle moment. You go back into awareness. Where's your boundary at? Is this person feeding me or is this person taking off of my plate? So your intuition is going to tell you, like, it just goes back and forth, and we're going to go through all of that too. But this is my alive method. Welcome, y'all, the first ones to hear about it. What is included? You'll get weekly calls with me, support in between calls, access to me. So I want to know about everything, your breakthroughs, if you have questions, the real life challenges, all of that. You'll have support in between the calls, lifetime access. I'm going to start recording every single call so that you can go back. This one is recorded. You're going to get the replay. So recording and lifetime, yeah, action steps on wherever you need them. Sorry, the bar is at the bottom down here and I can't see all of my stuff. Personalized somatic practices. So that's why we did the somatic practice and the embodiment practice before. And some of you felt more expansive and some of you felt that like, I need more or I need something different. And you don't know, there's no right or wrong way. It's just figuring out what works for you, which is why I wanted to bridge the gap between what it was supposed to look like in my head and what it can look like, because fuck the boxes. I'm not living in a box anymore. So personalized to you, if we cruise through ALI and we get stuck on V and visibility, I'm going to challenge you. We're going to find ways that we can force ourselves to be visible, because when you do that, it allows you to be in authority and prove to yourself that you can make the decision to do that. Some other things that are in there, because it's not all about dancing. Is parts work, emotional processing, inner child healing, nervous system regulation, and a whole lot more that doesn't fit on this slide. But that kind of sums up what it would look like integrated in between all of that. So yeah, so the reflection and the integration. And parts work, I don't know if anybody or everybody knows what that means, but it's just identifying those parts of you that are protecting you from something else, kind of what we touched on at the beginning of this masterclass, where you're pleasing other people, where you're avoiding things, or where you're holding back and where you're shrinking. There's parts of us and they're there to protect us from feeling a certain way that we felt when we were a kid that made us step into that person. So with that, since you guys are here live on the call, For 5 months, for everybody else, it's going to be 4,444. You can break that down into 888 a month for 5 months, or even more because I use Stripe. So literally, you could get it down to $100. But for you guys, I'm taking 555 off. The 555 comes from the number that I started seeing right after my dad passed. So that somehow all of these numbers, and I'm a big number girly, fell in line when I took 555 off down to 777 a month. His phone number was 9777, just so you know. So yeah, there's that. And that's pretty much it. 5 months. Women ready to reconnect themselves to themselves, become the dominant energy in your own life, and live a life that sets your fucking soul on fire. Are there any questions?
How does one take the next steps to sign up to work with you?
I will put a link in the chat for you to schedule a consultation call, and we'll talk a little bit more about what it would look like and dive in a little bit deeper to what called you to this space in the first place, and then go from there. And then we can talk about all the other fun things. But I'll go ahead and put that in the chat. I'm going to keep this offer live until Monday. You don't have to talk to me, or you don't have to set up the consultation call before Monday, but at least book the call before Monday, and I'll honor the price. I'm going to do that for the replays as well.
Sorry if I didn't understand. There's one-on-one, and is there group sessions too? That's what or no, it's all one-on-one.
It is all one-on-one.
Okay.
I haven't created a group container just yet, but it's on the way. Is that what you feel more called to, is group containers? Just out of
Um,
curiosity.
Not necessarily. Like I've done some one-on-one. I actually did a container last year that I was the only person in it, so it ended up being one-on-one. Um, I'm definitely looking for more, but I don't know. I just liked this call. I thought this was really cool, and I think you do a really great job leading a container. But yeah, I mean, one-on-one intention is also like I'm kind of here for all of it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that and the reflection. So thank you for being here and bringing your energy, all of you. Thank you for being a part of my very first masterclass. It was stressful, but it was so fun, and I learned a whole lot. And Maddie, I do appreciate you saying that, because I actually really enjoyed this, like, a lot. So it's given me more to chew on now, and maybe host more of them and have like a more set intention. So this has just given me ideas. So I appreciate you bringing that up.
For sure. This was awesome. Thank you so much.
Of course. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that I can put that in the chat. Any other questions?
I feel like I'm gonna have more questions. How's the best way to ask those questions?
You got my number.
Okay, I don't know if you want me to like email you or
No, you got my number.
okay.
Even as a client, I'm not to the point where I feel called to put this in Telegram or WhatsApp or anything like that. I'm part of groups on Telegram and WhatsApp, and I'm really bad about checking those. I'm a very personal person, so I would much rather you have direct access to me, because that's what I'm offering. When I say in between support, I really mean in between support. Like, yes, I'm going to have some business hours in there, but I want you to text me on the weekends. I want to hear from you if you're having a hard time at 12 o'clock at night. Like, if it gets to that point, I want to be able to hold that space for you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys so much. If you want, I'm going to go back to the freedom page and share my screen. And did anybody snap a picture? So I was going to say, if you'll share it, I'm going to send everybody
I
a
did.
little goodie. Of course you did.
A really cute one.
Of course you did. There you go. Oh, wait. Mercurial, go. All right.
Hey, I'm here. I went away. I accidentally swiped it off, but I'm back.
You're good. You're good. Do you have any questions?
No, if I do, it'll come up later, and I'll call you.
I figured. Okay, for real, I appreciate you guys so much. And I hope that it was everything that I said it was going to be at minimum and maybe even
More,
not. Thank you. So
more.
I'm here for support. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I hope you sleep good. Thanks for tuning in for so fucking long. I didn't expect it to be this long. I'll do better next time. But I love you guys. Go have a great night and go be the dominant energy in your own fucking lives.
Yay, thank you. Love you.
Love you all so much.
Love you. Thank you so much for
Blessings.